The way forward is to move together in the broad light of day, where everything we do and how we do it is clear, honest, and transparent. We have a social contract that is our blueprint for success.
The Philippine Development Plan translates President Benigno Aquino III's 16-point social contract with the Filipino people to specific strategies, programs, and projects. It is the country's development framework that seeks to address poverty, create massive employment opportunities, and achieve inclusive growth, a growth that is shared by all. It is not the trickle-down, jobless growth that the country has experienced in the past few years. As a background, inclusive growth has been elusive in the past. This is due to low growth, weak employment generation, and persistently high inequality. These, in turn, can be traced to the following underlying factors: inadequate infrastructure, resulting in low levels of investment. Major gaps and lapses in governance. Inadequate levels of human development. And poor and degraded state of environment and natural resources. To address these problems and achieve inclusive growth, the plan outlines the following strategies and programs. The country urgently needs massive investment in infrastructure, particularly in the transport and power sectors. Thus, creating an integrated and multimodal national transport and logistics system is a key priority. This will connect underserved but otherwise productive areas and communities to markets and social services. To overcome the constraints posed by large budget deficits, government is generating funds for infrastructure investment through better tax collection and more rational budget allocation. Given the need to immediately attend to social development and poverty alleviation, government is relying on public-private partnerships, or PPP, to implement the bulk of its infrastructure program. Inclusive growth must be anchored on a bedrock of sound institutions that promote transparency, accountability, the rule of law, and effective and impartial performance of regulatory functions. To achieve responsive governance, systems that promote objective decision-making, professionalism, transparency, and accountability are being instituted and mainstreamed. Reforms in the budgeting process and public procurement are being implemented to restore public confidence in government institutions and practices. Zero-based budgeting, or ZBB, is being adopted, subjecting department and agency budgets to intense scrutiny. To avoid abuses such as conversion and fund diversion, budget releases are being aligned with the number of active personnel and actual progress of programs and projects. The rationalization of government functions, pay, and personnel is being continued and extended to cover not only the bureaucracy itself, but also government-owned and controlled corporations, or GOCCs, and government financial institutions, or GFIs. The anti-corruption drive is being strengthened with the passage of the Freedom of Information Act and the Whistleblowers Act, as well as several key programs against tax evasion and smuggling. To ensure that the voice of the people will be heard, private business, civil society, and the media are being engaged in governance, monitoring, and feedback. Together with physical investment, investment in the country's human resources is key to sustained and broad-based growth. This requires equitable access to basic social services, stronger social safety nets, and social protection against shocks. Major priority reforms in education are detailed in the Basic Education Sector Reform Agenda, or BESRA. This involves school-based management, enhanced learning efficiency, quality assurance and accountability, and complementary learning interventions. Equitable access to basic health care for all is being assured by strengthening the National Health Insurance Program, or NHIP, investing in public health programs to reduce maternal and child mortality, and morbidity from communicable diseases, and upgrading of public health care facilities. To promote asset and human capital formation for the poor, conditional cash transfers are being pursued through the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program, or 4Ps. The program provides direct cash transfers to the poor on condition that their children continue to attend school and the family uses preventive health care and nutrition services. Employment generation will be stimulated and sustained through increased investments. This will be supported by the following sub-strategies: work arrangements that are mutually agreed upon, exports that promote learning by doing and dynamic comparative advantage. Through active trade policy, exporters learn through time, and their skill sets evolve and become entrenched into more technologically intensive and higher skills processes. Technological expertise gained through exports generates positive spillover effects to other sectors in the economy, resulting in faster accumulation and innovation, and therefore accelerated growth. Broader access to financing to further sustain employment generation. Expansion of credit access to the poor to generate wider self-employment opportunities. Collaboration between government and microfinance institutions to use microfinance as a tool for inclusive growth by expanding access to micro-enterprises and poor households to credit, savings, and other financial services. And opening of other channels for rapid employment generation through programs of community-driven development, which are linked to poverty relief and labor-intensive infrastructure projects of local governments. In summary, the plan focuses on the following key strategies: massive investment in infrastructure, transparent and responsive governance, human development and improved social services, competitiveness to generate employment, and lastly, access to financing. But these strategies must be complemented by a macroeconomy with low inflation and sustainable fiscal balances. Ecological integrity that includes mitigation of the potential impacts of environmental factors. Education, science, and technology to attain higher productivity. And advancement in the peace process and a guarantee of national security. With these key strategies, the plan envisions a country that has achieved an inclusive growth. These are the plan targets for the next 6 years. A GDP growth rate of 7 to 8% a year, supported by an increase in the investment to GDP ratio to 22% in 2016, resulting in employment creation of 1 million jobs a year and an unemployment rate of 6.8 to 7.2% with an annual labor force growth of 2.75%. And along with the social protection and social development strategies, these will reduce poverty incidence from 33.1% in 1991 to 16.6% in 2015 and will help achieve other MDG goals. As a decision maker on behalf of the people, the government is accountable for the consequences of its actions. It must focus on performance and outcomes by linking results with actions, making it more responsive, efficient, transparent, and accountable. Thus, the targets of the plan are linked with organizational outcomes, are cascaded into agency-level development, and are guiding programming and budgeting. In addition, critical indicators for the outcomes and targets in each chapter of the plan are already set up and will be monitored closely. Accounting for results ensures that positive impacts are met and that public trust in government is achieved. Through the Regional Development Plans, or RDPs, the Philippine Development Plan shall be translated into activities that spur productive opportunities in the countryside. The regions play a vital part in the overall effort to ensure that all Filipinos shall benefit from our development programs. Let us thus join hands to ensure that no Filipino, wherever he is, shall be left behind in our efforts to improve the quality of life of our people.
Panahon na upang tayo ay muling magkawang-gawa.
Tayo'y kumilos na tungo sa pagbabago, para sa pagbabago. Ngayon na, ngayon na. Tungo sa pagbabago, para sa pagbabago. Bayan ko, ngayon na. Ang pagbabagong nais mo sa ating bayan, sa sarili mo'y dapat nang simulan. Dapat ipakita na kaya nating mabuhay na marangal, matapat, mapagmahal at mahusay. Tayo'y kumilos na tungo sa pagbabago, para sa pagbabago. Ngayon na,